How's your day going?
I had wet lettuce and then you stuck your tongue in my mouth.
Wait a minute! Only once!
You just don't turn it off! Easily afternoon.
Did you ever wonder why Pauly Shore would make a movie about Richard Simmons if Richard Simmons was still alive? It kind of seems odd to me, but that's what they want us to believe. In any case, here's how the story goes. Back in 2014, Richard Simmons decided to jump out of the spotlight, and when he did it, he didn't tell anybody. He just vanished off the radar and didn't tell anybody about it. Didn't cancel any schedules, didn't cancel any appointments, just didn't show up. This led many to believe that something happened to Richard, perhaps even died. In fact, many to this very day believe he did indeed die in 2014. I'm on the fence on that, but I have to say, even though I don't vividly remember Richard Simmons dying, I do believe it sounds familiar. But people are also saying that Richard Simmons never wore a headband, which I think is insane because I do vividly remember Richard Simmons wearing headbands. We're going to get to that in a second. So, in 2014, he vanishes without a trace, and as far as I can tell, his only contact was through messaging somehow, social media or text messaging. I didn't see really anything about him making face-to-face appearances with anybody until maybe just recently. In any case, 10 years later, Richard decides to come out of his hiding, and as you can see in the picture on the screen, that's him there 2 months before he passes away, which is under investigation. These photos here are from 2014. Richard did this not long before he decided to vanish from the public eye. So, as far as the headband thing goes, when you do a search to try to find Richard Simmons wearing a headband, which should be the easiest thing in the world to find, like, there's nobody I talk to that doesn't remember Richard Simmons wearing a headband, except the younger crowd, of course. Now, I wasn't able to find any pictures of Richard wearing a headband, but I was able to find plenty of people wearing Richard Simmons costumes, and they all have a headband on. I found ones where they weren't wearing the headband, but as you can see, people remember Richard wearing a headband. In fact, the costumes are sold with headbands. I've even found a website that sells Richard Simmons headbands. 9 different choices you have here. Kind of odd that Richard never wore headbands. And I even went back and checked some video footage of Sweating to the Oldies and this and that, and I didn't check them all, so maybe there are some out there with him wearing a headband, but you would think it'd be the norm. Everybody remembers Richard wearing a headband.